So do we have a quorum? Yes, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me welcome you all to the March 16, 2022 Blue Ribbon Committee for individuals or people with disabilities for the city of Laredo. And I'd like to start the meeting by, first of all, I guess welcoming all of you. Okay, and thank you for being here. Let me get to my agenda. The first, I'm calling the meeting to order, and the first thing that we need to do, second item on the agenda, is to review and approve the minutes of February 16th. If you all could look at those. They were sent to you all, I guess, numerous or several times over the last several weeks. So if you all can take a look at those and provide us with any feedback or changes or reviews, edits. I do want to make I guess for Tiffany, we're not a commission, we're a committee. Somewhere in there I read a commission. Okay, just we're not that powerful here. We're not a commission, we're a committee. So I just want to make sure that the city doesn't think that we've honored ourselves with a bigger title. So
we just feel like we are, right?
Yeah. Like, okay, so we're now a commission. Okay, good. Would have been my only edit, I think, to that one. Change. If there's anything else that you all find. Indiana, you need to show me how to do that background one of these days.
Sure, I can show you. It's very easy.
Yeah,
if you go to the stop video at the bottom, you see where it says stop video, there's a little arrow.
Yeah.
And it says video settings, change virtual background, and then you can choose which one you want.
So you can put a bunch of dancing girls in the background too?
Well, I wouldn't recommend it.
I don't think that would be a wise choice.
Dr. Ruthinger, can you hear me?
I finally can. I had to relaunch.
Yes. You celebrated a birthday, yes or no?
I don't want to talk about it.
No wonder you didn't hear me.
It's gotten to like too many candles on the cake, start some kind of a fire. I'm trying to ignore the birthday, but thank you so much.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're still here. That's a blessing, something to celebrate.
Praise God. Yes. Praise God. Grateful for every day. That's the truth.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So when was your birthday, Dr. Ruthinger?
She don't want to talk about it.
But she's not disclosing anything other than just the date.
Yeah. Yes, it's, beyond. But thank you so much. It was so kind of you to think of it. Thank you.
You're just like me. I keep telling my kids I'm 39 for the last 20 years or more. So
I think I come under the general heading of or more.
Daniel, this is Jaime. I moved to approve the minutes. I already read them. I don't see any changes.
Okay, thank you, Jaime.
I guess I second.
Okay, if I get a second, then we can approve the minutes for February 16, 2022. Next item on the agenda is public comments. And I know that we have a guest speaker. I'm assuming that we could bring him in at this time. Mr. Ricardo Medina, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yes, sir, I could hear you.
Okay. I guess we could assume that you've signed up for public comment, so if you want to go first and let us know about, first of all, welcome to the committee, and just let us know any information that you would like us to have or disclose or disseminate on your behalf.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, sir. First of all, good morning to everyone. Thank you for your time and allowing me to give you some little bit of information about the program that I represent. I am the program manager for Valley Association for Independent Living of South Texas. It's a long name, but we basically go by VEL. We have our main office in McAllen, Texas, and then we have our satellite office right here in Laredo, Texas. Our Laredo, Texas office serves Webb County, Jim Hobb, Duval, and Zapata County. Our organization is designed to assist people with physical and mental disabilities or the families of individuals with physical and mental disabilities. We offer 5 core services. Services are information and referral. We offer independent living skills, and we educate the families and the individuals on how to advocate for themselves through self-advocacy and system advocacy skills. And we also provide transition services for any family members or any individuals that are coming out of high school and they're ready to take the next step, whether it be towards education or towards a career or entering the work environment. We also offer peer counseling. This is a service that's kind of been on hold with everything with COVID, but we hope to soon restart it. Peer counseling, we try to have like a group meeting where individuals with similar disabilities or experiences can meet together and just talk about any issues or concerns that they may have. Okay. Most of our demographics or individuals that come for our assistance come for our in-house program, which is a program that is designed to assist people in purchasing medical equipment that they may need or any assistive devices that they may need to be able to live more independently. And the range of items that we could help out an individual ranges from wheelchairs to walkers to small home modifications such as widening the doors for a wheelchair to be able to go in. We could help out with like hearing aids, prosthetics. We're funded by the state of Texas, so the only catch to that is what I always tell my client is that there is a wait list, and the process is a little bit lengthy, but eventually we do help out the individual.
TRS, Mr. Rick Vargas reported TRS.
Sorry, baby. And those are the type of services that we offer. As soon as I get a chance, I'll go ahead and put my information on the chat. So if anyone has any more questions or any more concerns of our program, feel free to reach out to us via email. If you need any of our brochures, I can send you a PDF file, or if you need on-hand paper, I could go ahead and drop them off at their office or anything such as that.
Mr. Medina, tell me the name of your association again, please.
It's called Valley Association for Independent Living, and for short is VAIL, V-A-I-L.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned right now that you were funded by the state of Texas, correct?
We're funded. We're under HHAC, so we're funded by them. I don't know by any chance if there's anyone here from the Texas VRS. So basically, if an individual, correct me if I'm wrong, but if there's an individual that's seeking employment, ready to get back to work, or has the interest of going back to work, the Texas VRS will assist those individuals, or we refer those individuals also to Texas VRS. For any individual that is not ready to go back to work, their disability is preventing them from work, or have decided just not to return to the workforce, our organizations or the Center for Independent Living around Texas help out those individuals.
So how is, Diana, and maybe you can give us some input, how is it different from your former employer?
Hey, I'm gonna let Jeanette take the reins. Jeanette is on. Jeanette.
Where's Jeanette? I haven't seen her. Oh, there she
Yes,
is.
she was having trouble logging on, but she's on.
Okay. So I'm just curious if there's no, like, is there no, potentially, is there overlap? Is there overlap or no overlap, or how do you all integrate or work together?
Mr. Castellon, can
Yes.
I add? I actually have utilized the services from VAIL. I had a customer who was hearing impaired, and she was working at a location. She needed a communication device. The VR program, he's smiling because he remembers me. The VR program purchased the iPhone that she needed, and Val provided assistance with translation during the process of trying to figure out exactly what we could do to collaborate so that the employee, who was always, like I said, was hearing impaired, would be, or deaf basically, because she can't hear, she could receive services. And there was one time where I couldn't be there to assist her that process, and Val completely took over and assisted with the setting up of the device, having the device transferred. I mean, the whole work. So it's an amazing service for populations that are in need.
Okay. And the other part to this is, I don't know if you're aware that we kind of post other resources that are available to individuals with disabilities on our website. And so that's the time I was asking you if you were publicly funded or privately owned. Because if you are publicly funded, we could place your organization in our website.
That would be great. If anyone's familiar with the name, I believe STARS, that's what the name of the program used to be named. They used to be located on Corpus Christi and I want to say around Market. I don't remember the street that runs through there, but I know this program has been in Laredo for, I want to say, close to 10 years. It hasn't, the previous individuals before hadn't done that much of an outreach. So that's where I come in now to try to get it known more around our communities and the counties that we serve.
Okay, so yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I remember STARS, but I don't remember, I'm remembering the acronym, but I don't remember specifics of what those entail. But yeah, I've heard of the program before. Okay. So what we would need from you would be just, I guess, your information so that we can post it on our website. And I guess a short description of what you all do.
Anyone in particular that I could reach out with that information, or?
Yes, Mr. Medina, I'm interested in maybe even visit us, and maybe we can set up a meeting. We worked with Vail before, and after the pandemic started, we weren't able to communicate with you all anymore. But you all were able to help several of our patients in a very positive way. So we would like to continue that with.
Yes, ma'am. That would be awesome. Thank you.
I put an email in the chat, and you can send your info there as well.
Mr. Medina, this is Diana Sanchez. I'm with Laredo Specialty Laredo Rehabilitation Hospital. And we do serve, right, some population that would possibly benefit from your services. So if you would put your contact information in the chat, that'd be great. So that I can retrieve that, and then you and I can have a conversation later, if that's okay with you. Thank you.
So I'm curious how you located us, Mr. Medina.
So I've been trying to reach out to try to be part of the committee, and I have been trying to reach out to see a meeting, and finally I found the meeting schedule on it. So that's how I ended up jumping into the meeting.
Okay. You found us where?
So through the city of Laredo, I went through your website.
Okay.
Meetings, and I was able to get the link for that.
Okay, I was just curious how you had found us. Okay, sounds good. Anything else that you'd like to share with us?
No, not at the moment. I'll go ahead and put in my information, and if anyone has any questions or any concerns, feel free to reach out.
Yes.
A little bit better.
This is Jeanette. I'm sorry, I'm not catching the audio or the video, so I had to call in. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, Jeanette.
We can hear you, Jeanette.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I just wanted to chime in. So just give a little background. So VR does work, has worked very closely with Vail in the past, like Mrs. Gutierrez reported. Chair, the Vail specifies in the disability of deaf, hard of hearing. And so VR kind of runs the gamut of disabilities, any and all. And so I used to work very closely, Mr. Medina. I don't know if Brooke Velarde is still there. We've worked with her. As a matter of fact, I was just getting ready to coordinate a sign language class for our VR staff that she had offered some time back. Is she still with your program?
Yes, and I do remember that meeting. She is with our program. She's the only thing she's out of our McAllen office. And I think right now at the moment, I still have a relationship and we're still in contact with one of your staff members, Mr. Carlos Salazar, from time to time.
Yes, he's one of our newest counselors. Yes. He is the one that works with the deaf, hard of hearing caseload.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Vail, Chair, just to give you a little background, they're really awesome. They're very beneficial to the community. When VR had our program reorganization back in October of 2017, we actually used to have the independent living as part of VR. But then they contracted those services out. And basically the difference between independent living and RVR customers is that independent RVR customers, it's always about employment. That's always the goal. But with our independent living services, it was about independence in the home or in the community. And so VR relinquished that program, and Vail took that program on, and so now they assist the community with those independent living services that VR used to do in the past when we were DARS. So just a little background.
Oh no, it seems as though you're a real important resource to the community, Mr. Medina. So thank you for your presence and for allowing us to hear your services, allowing us to place it on our website as well.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. You read my mind.
Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Any other comments that anyone would like to make to Mr. Medina or Mr. Medina to us before we move forward?
Real quick, Mr. Medina, this is Diana Sanchez again. Have you moved or are you in the same location?
Let me go ahead and put my address. Our address right now is 709 Alta Vista Drive.
Okay.
Basically, if you go to McPherson near the public library, there's an AutoZone and our office is right behind them. That's the best way I could describe you.
Okay, so it's a new location. Because you used to be on Corpus, yes or no? Was it Corpus?
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay. If we're done, if there are no other public comments, we can move forward to item 4, which is discussion possible action for the following. Christine, are you there? I'm looking at my stuff. Yes. Christine, can you hear me? Christine.
Good morning.
Hi, Christine. How are you today?
Good. Can you hear me well? I'm sorry. It's I'm not IT savvy on my new. It's like a speaker that I have. I'm so sorry. I could either do either or.
Oh, we can hear you fine.
Okay, perfect. Sorry. Good morning, everyone. I have a brief report. Well, I say brief, but sometimes it's a little long. Stop me or ask me any questions in between if you have any. Our program connected with Santa Rosa's Children's Hospital this past week. The program looks forward to making a visit to the Children's Hospital this year to learn more about services that they host. Again, with this in mind, we have a goal within our program to connect with the Santa Rosa Children's Hospital to one, learn about the services that they have, and then two, seeing if we could possibly link services to Laredo, Texas. Right now, we're working on a phase one, which is just the visits for now to get to know the hospital. So we're working on that for this year. Our staff attended a 2022 Pediatric Health Brain Health Summit. The summit focused on building stronger connections with providers and community organizations. Our staff also attended the second annual of the Health and Human Services Office of Disability Prevention of Children statewide virtual conference. This conference the conference's key topics were on preventing intellectual and developmental disabilities in children. The organizations and agencies that we collaborated with discussed and learned about strategies on creating positive change in the lives of children and families across Texas. Our program also connected with Partners Resource Network to collaborate on upcoming webinars and workshops that focus on transition, creative parenting, and understanding their child and young adults' disability. The upcoming webinars that we'll be hosting will be on Friday, April 1st and Friday, April 8th. I'll make sure to send the flyers through our group email. The webinar topics will include Texas Autism Supplement presentations and how sensory issues affect children in school. The webinars will also include our program introduction and resources for the families that attend it. Again, this is a free webinar that we'll be hosting on April 1st and April 8th virtually. Our staff attended. Yes?
Christine, sorry to bother you, but before I forget. There used to be two autism organizations in Laredo. Do they still exist?
There's two groups that I do follow. I know one is a nonprofit. I'm not sure on the other group, community support group, but yes, there's Laredo Autism Community, and then also Families for Autism Support and Awareness. So those are two groups that I do connect with and I share the information with, and then we do share our flyers and information via social media for any families that we might have that are not part of the community support groups.
Okay, I was just curious whether you all were working with them.
Yes, we do share them. Thankfully, we have contact information from the two organizations, and we share email and then through conversation the information that we have coming up for April. But of course, throughout the year, we do still keep good connection with them in case there's any information that we can share with them in resources.
Thank you. Sorry for the interruption.
No. Our staff also attended the Autism Speaks Texas Pathways virtual event. Our program was able to join in on the series. We were also able to enter the meeting rooms with other stakeholders to learn more about resources in the state of Texas. Our staff has continued to participate in the Texas Council for Developmental Disabilities, Texas Partners in Policymaking sessions. I was able to meet with our TCDD state coordinators and staff in regards to the graduation, which I'm excited to announce. And we had a scheduled meeting with Senator Zaffarini for my introduction. It was a very productive meeting. It was very motivating to learn more about new policies as well as Senate bills that hopefully will be passed so that children, young adults that have developmental disabilities or even in the school system have more opportunities for resources and funding for trainings for caregivers. The program created educational flyers and videos for the following for this month. We did a medical home education flyer and education 101 on medical homes. We've also provided spring break activities that include bubble therapy posts, tips on transitioning back to school, tips on to keep a healthy schedule during the spring break, and water safety. Our water safety our video will be posted every spring break as well as before the summer break and throughout summer. Our goal again is just to promote water safety, especially for individuals with developmental disabilities that might need to practice around water and open water. I know last year we did have an incident, and it incorporated a child with a developmental disability. So we want to make sure and provide the free resources and information, and then also connect parents with the resources and information for water safety. Our program has enrolled and assisted a total of 325 clients year to date, which puts our program at 382% of clients served. And that is my report.
Thank you very much. So you said something about a bubble?
A boat?
Spring break, did you say something bubble something?
Oh yes, a bubble therapy. It's a it's a therapeutic recreation activity. We are educating through social media that bubbles, I know sometimes we take bubbles for granted. I think they're so cute, but kids love them, and the benefits of them when it comes to motor skills, being able to implement speech therapy and through it, and then also it being valuable for physical therapy. We were just educating the families that something so it's economical, it's fun for the kids, can benefit them with their physical activity as well and their overall health and wellness. You just have to be creative with it. So we give out tips today. I believe they posted it yesterday because we have a station outside the Kite Festival. And our station, which is the Children and Young Adults with Special Healthcare Needs booth, will be promoting bubble therapy, and I have bubbles there for kids, and just to teach them the benefits and the families, and then to introduce them to our program.
So are we talking about the bubbles that you blow like when we were kids?
Yes.
Hard to make sure. Thank you. Okay, the next item we have is item B, which is review and update on services for people with disabilities and any other new or additional services as a result of or in response to COVID-19 pandemic. One of the things I'd like to ask, Erica, you might be more informed than we are. How is the city of Laredo doing with regards to the pandemic and our numbers, and is it going down, or is there anything else that we need to know? Is there potential resurgence of another variant? I had heard something on TV recently.
The report is that our cases are down and transmission is down. We are seeing a trend from CDC to relax some of the measures, and I know there's been, other reports from worldwide, some changes depending on, the lower incidence of cases. At this time, the news is we're waiting for the pediatric vaccines to be approved for 5 and under, and we are seeing a connection on due to the methods that were utilized to develop the COVID vaccine. We are now seeing that being used to for the development of an HIV prevention vaccine, so to eradicate that virus. So those are the reports that I've seen most recently. Dr. Chamberlain did share that information today, but we are seeing, like I said, relaxed measures in terms of seeing the lower cases, and we keep encouraging vaccination. We have a lot of events going on in the community. We have our mobile bus, and we continue to do testing, but we do see that there's a lower demand for that as well.
In the latter part of the pandemic, several months ago, the city of Laredo had acquired the machinery or the technology to identify variants or something. You all were waiting for technical assistance or instruction or education from the manufacturer or something like that. Whatever happened to that?
So we have it at our facility. We have our sequencer. We are working with the vendor to get our staff trained. I believe that already happened a couple of weeks ago. What we are seeing a challenge with is in the acquisition of the reagents. So the products needed to run the test. We are seeing just as the world deals with supply chain issues. That has been a little bit of a challenge, but we are ready to go as soon as we obtain those to run those tests.
Okay. And the only reason I was asking you about the resurgence of the pandemic is that apparently I've seen a number of reports where China has a resurgence of COVID. Their numbers have increased to levels that were in their full force several months back or a year ago. And so there's a concern there. And so that's how come I was asking about that with regard to.
At this point, we continue to monitor, but I mean, like with everything else in the pandemic, there's a lot of unknowns, but you have a fully equipped epidemiology team that tracks that, and any recommendations that would be provided moving forward, those would come out of our.
Thank you,
I'll let you know, but right now there's no cause for alarm. We're okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll just chime in. This is Diana. We do get the reports daily, right, from both hospitals, Mercy and doctors, and they do have COVID patients. Not significant, right, which I'm sure Erica gets those reports too, but there are still, COVID patients. So we just need to continue with our precautions as we have been, right? But yeah, it's not drastic, but there are cases.
Right. So we hear a lot of the new normal, and that's where we are.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
This is Jeanette.
And Jeanette.
Hi. Oh, yesterday I saw on the news with Lester Holt that Pfizer was developing a second booster for individuals over the age of 65. Have Erica or Mrs. Sanchez, have any of you heard anything about that? The second booster?
We did foresee it coming from the different pharmaceutical companies. There has been a talk of perhaps every 6 months or annually, like we do the flu shot. But we're just waiting on the final determination of what the guidelines are going to be. I know the terminology with CDC has changed from it's no longer fully vaccinated. It's just you're up to date with your vaccination, similar to any other vaccine that is administered because of the changing nature. But it is looking like I said, like with the flu, there would be the need for some reinforcement.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item that we have is discuss any possible action, if any, to better protect the health of people with disabilities being threatened by the ethylene oxide released by the sterilization plant. I know that there was a letter of support that we were forwarding to the city council in support of their request for a grant from the federal government or the state to initiate a study to identify the injuries or damages or potential harm. Dr. Ruth Incher, I know that you sent us a video. By the way, it was very informative. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And I right before going on, I had spoken to Tiffany because I was under the impression that I had seen the letters, but then I couldn't find them. So I was like asking her about them right now. But Erica, Tiffany assures me that they were sent to us. So let me look for them so that we can get them signed so we can forward those to the city council.
Yes, we'll
Dr. Reed?
continue to work with you to have that form finalized. We continue to work on the grants also for this initiative. I know staff did submit, I believe, last week to EPA the grant application, and I know there was also some questions on the monitoring equipment that is used for air quality. We are talking to EPA on best practices for that and what would be the best, investment. However, our approach, especially in applying for this grant, is
In a meeting.
contracting with a vendor that would monitor to kind of
Blue
have
ribbon.
a third party
Blue ribbon.
organization that would monitor and report to us in terms of air quality.
Okay, thank you.
One of the things that I found interesting was, and I don't know if the video I sent included that, but the report stated that what is online with this particular sterilization company, they basically have a representative stating that they're very careful whenever they're in any community. They're extremely careful, and they do monitor air quality along fence line. But there's also an interview where they say, well, no, we don't do that because anyway, it's ineffective. But the web page has pictures indicating that they do monitor. And it's interesting to note that those places are Ukraine, Belarus, and places like that. But if you actually interview the people that are presently in the United States and more importantly in our community, they actually don't. They don't monitor the air quality. They don't. And to me, that's a major red flag, and it's a 911 to me, because if you consider that the community has been exposed to cancer-causing agents to the tune of thousands of pounds per year since the year 2005. Think about that. All of us, since the year 2005, have been breathing in carcinogens. Further, there's data that shows that for little children who grow up in places that have this ethylene in the air, it damages their DNA. Then there's data that I found that says that for children who are real close to the sterilization plant, compared to the general public in the United States, they're at 100% more risk of developing illnesses like leukemia. For me, this is not anything to take lightly, and I hate to be, an alarmist, I guess, but to me, this is something that we need to move forward on as soon as possible. And I even went online to find some reputable companies that do sell equipment to test air quality, and I forwarded some of those to you and to Erica. And some are under $500, and they include the cable for the computer and the software to start charting out. Also on the report I sent to you all, it has a PhD who is supposed to be very reputable in talking about these types of concerns in communities such as ours. And she says that what she recommends is that the air quality be tested over a year, and to test it at least twice a week. I'm almost at the point where I want to buy those at least 2 units for the city myself. I mean, I feel that concerned about all of us, each one of us, especially the children. One more thing about our responsibilities to this committee. Just like COVID affects does not really affect children under the age of 5 according to the data, not severely. We do know that kids with disabilities whose immune system is already compromised do fall victim to COVID and the most serious of consequences. So it is with air quality. And I do feel a responsibility because we are on this committee to voice my concern for air quality for these children who may not have an immune system that can stand up to these type of pollutants. Just finally, I want to say, remember that we've been breathing in these carcinogens since 2005. There's not a single one of us, not one family that has not had at least one or more people die from cancer. And I used to say, gee, there must be something in the water. Well, I was wrong. It's in the air. I've already lost 2 people, and actually 3 now, to cancer and in our community. And I feel very concerned that we're dragging I don't want to drag our feet. I don't want to say anyone's dragging our feet, but I feel an urgency to move forward as soon as we can. And like I say, I priced some monitors that are supposed to be really, really good. And I wouldn't mind buying 2 monitors with the software to have someone start monitoring as soon as possible, because I am that concerned. I feel like we all need to do something, and pretty darn quick. And I'll end with that. And I'm sorry I went on a little too long. Thank you, Mr. Castillo.
I don't think you went on too long. Okay, I think that you have the legitimate concern. The thing was that this, I guess, caught us off guard or by surprise. We didn't know that we had an organization or a manufacturing sterilization organization next door to us that was, producing carcinogens or toxins and putting them out there. I was surprised that no one has said anything. Okay. Behind and start doing something. I don't know what the city of Laredo, but I don't know what the city council is waiting upon. I know it goes through a bureaucracy of what they need to go through, but this is one of those things where the house is on fire, and I don't think that anyone is coming to turn it off. Okay.
Agreed.
And so how much longer do we need to wait before the city, in an official capacity, does something? Individually, I know people will speak up and say, well, they're concerned, but as a systemic level, on behalf of the community, they need to do something. And, you mentioned something about some monitors that could identify the degree of the levels of carcinogens in the chemical in the air. I don't think that's something that the city of Laredo couldn't afford to do or spend a few $1,000s to do. We're not talking hundreds of thousands. We're talking just, something that's within their capacity or ability. And so I don't know where they are with that. Erica, I don't know if you can give us some input on your sense of their sense of urgency that they may have.
Okay. I can't speak for council, but I can speak to the efforts in public health. And I will say that previously, and of course, there's a lot of in public service, you have to deal with the challenges of funding and things of the sort. But I do recall we did at one point have an agreement with CCEQ to do air quality assessments. We know that at a state level, those are being conducted. They do have, I believe, 4 sites in Laredo that have been monitoring the air quality. In terms of the purchase of monitors, I do appreciate the efforts of Dr. Ruthinger to research and look into it. As I mentioned previously, we are in conversations with EPA to ensure that whatever equipment is purchased is to the guidelines. And it's an investment that is well made and is to the capacity of what we need. We are in conversations, Dr. Chamberlain is, with the Department of State Health Services regarding a research study, not only in the air quality monitoring, specifically in ECO emissions, but also in a cancer study. So these are very preliminary. I know that, and I myself, being a member of the community, we want to see action, immediately. But as in anything with governmental agencies, there are steps to follow. There is funding that
Like an idea.
secured. So, but we are in conversations to ensure that these things happen within 6 months to a year. So, in terms of, like I said, any type of air quality and public health is not, putting all eggs in one basket per se. We are seeing, again, having conversations at a federal level with EPA, at a state level with the Department of State Health Services, and making sure that whatever opportunity is out there, we are making it known that it's needed in our community. So those are the two things. Unfortunately, I can't say these are for sure things. We're open to discussion with the state, and we're awaiting final approval on their end. But I have seen the activity and the meetings that have been held with Dr. Chamberlain on these two very important topics for our community.
Thank you. The other thing that I was going to say is that I never knew that Laredo had such an organization working here or operating here. And so I wonder what other municipalities do as a regulatory format to assure the safety of their citizens before the plants establish themselves here. When did this organization show up? Did the city not do any evaluation about what is it that they were going to do and what kinds of carcinogens or toxins or gases or whatever they were going to expel or into the environment? I mean, does the city of Laredo monitor that? Because all of a sudden it seems like we have this surprise, it's here, and yet I'm like, well, heck, didn't anybody figure it out before? And is it worth whatever 100 jobs that they provide that they may be endangering thousands, okay, for 100 jobs? Was that worth it? I don't know. I'm asking questions that I think should have been asked 15, 20 years ago. And so
in my estimation, if we lost one child, which I know we've lost more, we lost one child to cancer because of the EO that was released since 2005 in Laredo. That's too many. And yeah, 100 jobs, that's very important for those 100 people, those 100 families. But the damage is costing all of us, each one of us in our family, is too great a price to pay.
Exactly. And so I don't know if other organizations or other municipalities or other cities allow such an operation, but within further away, from the community, there's so many other organizations that establish businesses 5, 10, 15 miles away from the city, away from the major population. Why wasn't that an option? No, they're established within a community, within the 1,000 feet of a school or something like that, or a mile away from a school and a major neighborhood, okay,
and there's an EPA map available online. If anybody does a web search, just use the words Laredo, EO, pollutant in the air, and you will see the map. And guess what? It's all over Laredo, And the worst parts are in North Laredo. Believe it or not. Places north of, let's say, Del Mar, and all around the main part of the city. Just look at the map. It's available online. It just takes a few clicks on Google to be aware that, yes, your home is where it is. See, and the terrible thing about it is that it's odorless, it's colorless, so we don't even know we're breathing it in.
I'm just a little surprised that no one's raised any concerns until now. It's taking this long. And that
Agreed.
and that there was no preventive measures or public hearings about, does the city want such an organization working or operating from the city? When did that happen? I don't remember that ever occurring.
They use that chemical to sterilize medical equipment. That is the whole purpose of this company, and it is a privately held company.
Right. Well,
Again, I apologize for taking too long. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
No, you're fine. I think it's an important enough issue that affects everybody, at the entire city. So, well, we need to make sure that we provide the letter of support to the city so that they can go ahead and move forward with their grant. But Erica, you told us that they're still working on the details of the grant, correct?
Well, there's several initiatives. I know, like I said, there was grant that was submitted. The deadline was, I believe, the 11th. So it was submitted, but for sure, once the letter of support finalized from the committee, we can forward it along to Mayor. And I mean, I do apologize. As the liaison, we try to have all the information available. I can definitely speak on, like I said, the efforts in public health. I know you had some questions about this facility. I know that in terms of the chemical that's released and emissions and the concern now, we have to also understand that there's a lot of other things that contribute to the air quality in our community. I think that there's also have been some conversations of, the heavy transportation, 18-wheeler type of centralization in that area that also has emissions, and something as basic as, a cookout. When you have a cookout, there's emissions there as well. So, and those are just, from what I've heard in the discussions that I've been a part of regarding this issue. In terms of the facility and the approvals, I don't have the direct information. However, I can go ahead and reach out to them, to the city, and let them know you have these questions, and maybe bring in economic development or somebody to provide those answers for you, or ask for a report.
Thank you, Erica. Just to reiterate, all of the research that I've cited and the videos I have sent, they are specifically about the EO, okay, the carcinogen produced by that particular sterilization plant, not all the other carbon, emissions, but specifically that particular plant and that particular EO that is being released that is causing all of these concerns about public health, and specifically cancer, and specifically the children who are going to school close by developing leukemia, and the statistics. All of these things are readily available, and they do not take in any other pollutant, but specifically speak to the EO that's being produced in our community by that one company. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ruthinger, for all the work you've done and your concern. It's been very informative, so thank you for keeping the concerned in our minds, and that we still need to address that issue.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is that we have discuss and recommend possible new replacement members for the city of Laredo. Erica, I know that you sent something to us as well. Is that
I know we were finalizing the letters. I do apologize. I'm not sure where we are on that.
Okay, I'll ask Tiffany and then we'll work on that, and hopefully we can get them done this month.
Yes, I submitted it to all of y'all for review. I'm not sure where that ended up with. It was, I was asked to connect it with the resume, but I'm not sure if anyone sent it to City Sec or.
You would be the one to send it, Tiffany, but what was pending?
I believe, I'll resend the email so we can see where we left off.
That would be great.
Yeah, please send it to us so that we can go ahead and look at those and hopefully finalize those recommendations to the mayor's office. Okay. That is the final agenda item that I have. The next item is any announcements? No. Okay. Can we adjourn? Need a second to adjourn?
This is
I second.
All right. Then we'll adjourn for this meeting. Thank you all for being here. And Tiffany, if you will, please send us the information that was pending. Yes?
Yes, she will.
Okay. Dr. Rudinger, thank you for all your assistance and thank you for the research that you do.
I really apologize. I feel bad that I said what I said, but I felt like it needed to be said. I care about my community and I care about each one of you and your families.
I appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
We'll see you next
Thank you.
meeting. Bye-bye.
God bless you all. Bye.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Be safe.
Bye.